Hey, as we get started with this podcast, I just want to apologise for the audio and visual quality. Danny and I had an incredible conversation, but it seems there was all sorts of gremlins in the system and we had all sorts of back and forth afterwards. And we decided, do you know what? Let's just let it run. So we have put together the whole conversation, warts and all. There's echo, there's electrical signals and all sorts. As you know, I'm just trying to figure this all out myself. So thank you so much. Please do keep listening. Danny's story is so worth listening to. It's incredible. This is the PKS Running Club. Ordinary runners, extraordinary stories. I'm Paul, PKS Runs, and each week I sit down with another runner and get their real story. Not the highlight reel, whoever they are. Find me on YouTube, Instagram and TikTok as PKS Runs. Enjoy the show. So welcome back to the PKS Running Club. My name is Paul and I'm the host. And I am absolutely thrilled to be chatting with my really good friend Danny, who I have known for well over 10 years now. My daughters were bridesmaids at his wedding. As long as I can remember, Danny has had a six-pack, and I have always been insanely jealous. So let's just start there. Danny, were you born with a six-pack?
I can't remember not having one, so probably, yeah. Although actually, no, I think I was a bit of a Tubby Toddler, actually, so maybe about 6 or 7, that's when it started.
Tubby Toddler. What was that? You only had like a 4-pack, or...?
I think I just had a roll then, but lots of sport throughout my childhood and just managed to carry it on, I guess, has helped with that.
Yeah, so you're a football player?
Yeah, well, I was. I mean, I've always loved football, I've always played football, and then... Yeah, so I've got an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old, but it was kind of when they came around, I had to transition from football to running because of the flexibility of running and the kind of the rigidity of playing for a football team, and it being on like a Saturday morning. The impact on family life was a bit too great. So for the past kind of 7 or 8 years, I've focused more on running.
Yeah, and how's that gone? I presume you started with a great base layer of fitness.
Yeah, good, but it always amazed me. I think I wasn't always the most skillful football player, but I was always the one that could run the most.
Yeah.
I was always kind of on the full-back wing position, running up and down constantly. And then, so yeah, I had that base layer of fitness, but yeah, I remember the first time I got Strava, I did a 5K and it nearly killed me. And I thought, I can run on a football pitch for 90 minutes, but I can't, yeah, it kills me to do like a consistent pace. So it was, yeah, interesting, the different types of fitness that it brought about.
Yeah. But go on, kill me, Danny. What was that first 5K time for you?
I'm going to guess it was probably about 22, 23 minutes.
Sickening.
Yeah, good base layer. So I did have a good base layer.
Yeah, that is, I mean, that's incredible. I mean, I think there would probably be probably 90% of the 10 listeners of this podcast would probably dream of getting a 23-minute 5K. So it's a great place to start. So then how did you go from being, that and going to longer distances, marathons? So when did you do your first marathon?
First marathon was in 2020. I'd signed up in kind of 2019 for a charity place to run the London Marathon. I remember the exact moment. I was on the train coming back from work in March, early March, and London Marathon confirming that their marathon had been postponed. So I'd been training for like 4 months. I was the fittest I've ever been, and then to get that email to say it's not going to happen next month, it was devastating. And so I kind of, my training kind of stopped through COVID. I kind of got out a little bit, and then they did the virtual London Marathon in October. So basically, they said if you run 26.2 miles, we'll send you your medal. They basically had a lot of medals that they needed to get rid. So yeah, I got my April 2020 T-shirt and medal for running the marathon in October.
Wow.
And yeah, so and kind of leading up to that leading up to that, the first marathon that I did on the canals around Stourbridge in the West Midlands.
With them well.
Yes, yeah, you've run many a marathon on those, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the longest run I did was probably like 12 miles in between March and finding out that it had been postponed to kind of the October when I did it.
Yeah.
I hadn't really done any significant long runs. So yeah, still had the good base layer of fitness. And I'm sorry, this is probably going to be a bit sickening as well, but I managed to do it in 3 hours and 24 minutes.
Yeah.
In 2020, it was a really kind of humbling experience, like
Yeah.
setting off at kind of a steady pace and then getting to mile 23 and
Yeah.
then just hitting the wall. And yeah, I'd got my nutrition wrong and I just had no energy left. So the pace from like 23 miles of fairly consistent just like completely dropped off for those last 3
Really?
miles. Yeah.
Drop down to what, like 8-minute miles or?
No, 10-minute miles.
Yeah.
So
And did you do that on your own then?
yeah. Well, not entirely. I ran it on my own. My brother rode behind me on a bike for the whole distance. Yeah, my brother Phil. And then a couple of people joined me for like a few miles on the route. So, yeah, Chris Heslop, you know him as well.
Yeah, no, Chris.
Joined me for the last 5 miles. So, yeah, the chat that he gave me on the last 3 miles, I wanted to push him in the canal, to be honest. I'm like,
Yeah.
Chris, leave me alone.
Yeah.
But it was, in hindsight, it was good. He got me through it, and yeah, finished in a very, very pleasing first marathon time.
Yeah, that's incredible. That is an incredible time. And again, so many people would dream of sub 5, sub 4. So to get 3:24 is incredible on your own and along those canal routes. It's really tough. So how did you dig deep in there? I mean, having run with Chris myself, interesting anecdote. Him and Colin were the first people that ever took me trail running when we moved to Stourbridge, and I vividly remember it because it was about 9:30 at night and it was snowing heavily, and I got this text message from Colin say, now is the perfect time to start trail running. And I wasn't really running at all at the time, and so it was kind of like a reintroduction to running. And yeah, we went up to Clent in the snow. I was in a pair of like 5-year-old A6 gel Carnos, which had no grip. But Chris gave me one of his head torches and he said, keep this and keep going. And I did. It's incredible. So obviously you had Chris in those last few miles. Kind of, how did you dig deep? I suppose you had Phil by your side as well. But it's not like having a crowd, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, yeah, the kind of the slog of just the single track on some like uneven canal towpath. It was tough. I mean, having my brother there was great. And my family actually, because it was kind of an out and back on the canal.
Yeah, nice.
I think at least 4, maybe 5 spots they kind of dotted around to see me and drove in between.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, that was really helpful, like having those kind of markers of like, okay, I know a couple more miles and the family are going to be around the corner and yeah, cheering with like the tambourines and things like that. So yeah, the support of friends and family, I guess, is the overview of that.
Yeah, amazing. If there's one instrument I would not want cheering me on, it's a tambourine. I hate the tambourine. I think it's the church background.
Yeah.
If there was a flautist cheering me on, I would grab it and I would hit them with it.
No, I think, to be fair, I think it was, how old was Caleb? He'd have been 3. Maybe
okay.
And I think it was a kid's tambourine.
Okay, fair enough.
I wasn't going to hit him over the head with that.
No, you can't steal joy from a child. A child and a tambourine is a happy thing for the child.
Yeah.
So, did you get to do London in London?
Yeah. So thankfully, it was an automatic. You had to kind of re-register. They said, look, you've done the virtual one. I think it was only like another £20 to keep your place for the actual one the next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, long story short, yes, I did manage to do it, and it was October again, so it was another year to kind of wait.
Yeah.
So I managed to get a really solid kind of 16, maybe 18 week training block done. I was really fortunate I didn't get any niggles. I was really hot on kind of stretching and rolling a lot in the evenings. That was such a good testament to kind of the conditioning of your body allows you to training. I set a goal to get a sub 3 hour, and I started on the right pace, and I managed to just keep it throughout, and I finished in 2 hours 59 minutes and 30 seconds.
Incredible.
Yeah, I was absolutely overjoyed and just felt really strong throughout it. So yeah, it was a great experience.
Yeah, that's incredible. And that was, I remember you doing that, and I remember being massively motivated by the fact that you'd got this sub 3, because I remember you coming out for a training run with me in Salisbury. I was definitely, I felt like I was in better shape than you were. And then I lost my fitness. I fell out of love with running and had a bit of, mental crisis. And I was like, oh, if Danny can get there, I think I could get there.
Yeah. I remember that was a 10-mile run that we did. It's funny. You had a brilliant head torch. We could see everything. I had this dinky little thing that I was like, I basically was just using your head torch because mine wasn't making any difference. And yeah, I remember I was training for a half marathon, the Birmingham half marathon, which I'd done about 2 weeks training for. It was next week. I was just like, I'll just rely on my football fitness. And yeah, I remember we did about 9 miles, and then you're like, right, 10th mile, let's really push it. And you were just gone. I could not keep up with you whatsoever. You just left me in Salisbury to find my way back.
I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed. The modern PKS runs would never do that. What a dick move.
I think you came back for me in the end, don't worry.
I'm sure I would have done. All right, so over the last couple of years then you've kept up the running, and the focus has changed. Can we talk about your dad?
Yeah, please.
Like, I suppose as a way of introduction, I mean, Steve, Danny's dad, is one of the most beautiful men I think you can meet. Unbelievably great character, amazing man, welcomed us to Stourbridge when we moved there. But yeah, Danny, tell us what's been going on.
So in December 2023, my dad was diagnosed with motor neurone disease. In September 2023, he was on a holiday in Mallorca with friends and on a cycling holiday, cycling up mountains. His health kind of deteriorated since then, and so he got the diagnosis in December. Over 2.5 years, he lost his ability to move, his ability to speak, his ability to eat, and then sadly in May of this year, he passed away. So yeah, it's been a really difficult years.
And you have turned your attention now to fundraising, telling his story, haven't you?
Yeah, so I mean, my sister Becca started it in April last year. She ran the London Marathon and raised a load of money for Motor Neurone Disease Association. And I was like, well, I want to do something as well. In October or November last year, I signed up to do Ironman Wales.
Yeah.
To raise money for Motor Neurone Disease Association. And yeah, I kind of like, the mindset I kind of had was, this bad thing is happening. It's going to happen no matter what I do. So let's just try and do something positive out of it. Yeah, make my dad proud. Show him how much I love him. And you know what? One of the most beautiful things that's come out of this is it's really provided an avenue for people to demonstrate how much they love him as well. Because the videos and just the fundraising platform that we've got, the messages that have come in, and the kind of the act of love that people have shown with the amounts that they've donated and the words that they've said has just on a number of times I've looked at them with my dad, and we've both been in tears. And it was in these hard times, it's been hard for people to know what to do, so kind of giving people an avenue to show how much they love and care for him as well has been really great as well.
Yeah, because I guess alongside all of that, life also has to continue, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's always hard in grief to know how to journey that with people and how to respond, what to say. So having that focus is really useful.
Yeah, definitely. There's loads of aspects to it. There's what I've just said, and also just having. I mean, I work really well when I've got a goal in mind. Like when the London Marathon was postponed and there was no prospect of there being another one in the near future, my training went off. But having this goal has been really helpful for me to be like, okay, I need to prioritise kind of activity, and that's just been so beneficial for my mental health to get out and be active.
Yeah. And your work have been amazing, haven't they? I mean, they've been like matching money that you've raised, and like talk about some of that side of stuff, because I mean that's just really cool.
Yeah, I know. And so I guess by signing up to this Ironman and kind of telling my story, it's been a good avenue, because if you're at work, it's a lot easier to say, oh, I've signed up to do the Ironman because of what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
It's sometimes a bit harder to say, oh, my dad's got terminal illness. Like, it's an easy way to kind of get into that topic. And so work have responded amazingly and just wanted to show so much support. Kind of the biggest thing that they've done or are doing is they've organised a charity challenge, which actually takes place on Friday, and there's about 60 colleagues that are going to be walking or running the distance from one of our sites to another on the southeast coast path. There's 26 miles between the two, so we've got a group of people walking the marathon, a group of people running the marathon, which I'm included in that, and then there's two other groups walking or running kind of half the distance, a half marathon, and then we've got a family-friendly route as well. And everyone is doing that to raise money for the Motor Neurone Disease Association. And we've set a target of raising £60,000. We're at about £14,000 in that now. But once we get to 30, my company will match that. So essentially, we need to raise 30, and we'll get that matched to 60 and make a real difference, hopefully, for the benefit of the Motor Neurone Disease Association.
So, if we can get the word out there to get people to support, where do they need to be going?
Yeah, there's a Just Giving link. Can I give that to you, Paul? And then you
give it to me, and we'll put it up on the screen.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah.
Or put it in the show notes, whatever. I don't know what, but yeah, there'll be a link in the description or on the screen, no matter how you are engaging with this content.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, because it's been a wonderful problem to have, but fundraising for the same charity but in two different events. I've been focusing on my Ironman, but right now I really want to focus on the work one. One, because it's on Friday, but two, because every penny that's raised is going to be matched by my company, and my dad loved a bargain. So any 2-for-1 offers, he would be right there. So in honour of him, I think, I'd love people to get behind the work charity challenge that I'm doing.
It's amazing. And I think just like the level of commitment from your company, because actually it's not just about the money that they're matching. It's about 60 people who are not going to be doing their job on Friday.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's such an incredible act of generosity from them. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's blown me away. It really has blown me away just how much people have cared, and it's not just about me and my dad, but a large part of that is people wanting to show their support to me, and I've just been so grateful for that.
Yeah. So let's segue a little bit then to training, back to training. How are you preparing for Friday? It's a couple of days away now, so it's Tuesday now. So how are you preparing for Friday, and how does that fit within broader Ironman training?
Yeah, so, I mean, as part of the Ironman, the last thing I'm going to need to do is run a marathon.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I haven't, in all honesty, kind of changed my Ironman training. The only kind of changes is maybe the last couple of weeks, the intensity has dialed down a little bit. Just to make sure that I'm not running on completely tired legs on Friday. But yeah, generally I've just been pretty consistent in doing about 2 or 3 swims a week, 3 or 4 bike rides, and 3 or 4 runs a week. to try and get me ready for the Ironman event in September, where I'm just gonna give it my all. Whereas the event on Friday, we're not racing. We're covering the distance, but we're making sure we're being sensible, especially in the heat that we're in at the moment. It's the mandate is cover the distance, but don't go crazy.
Yeah. Is it a flat route? Is it hilly? Is it coast path?
So it's all on the coast path and southeast coast path. So the first 13 miles are kind of pancake flat.
Oh, lovely.
And then we get to kind of Dover area, and it's anything but flat. It's really.
I was going to say, we've all seen those white cliffs.
Yeah. So it's going to be a very gentle first half in terms of elevation, and then pretty extreme second half.
Yeah. I know you said you're going to be taking it easy. It's not a race. Look, I know you, Danny. You go to park run and you race. I saw it on Saturday. You were like, not been feeling great. 3rd place. Are you anticipating that you will be the first finisher?
Safety is having to come first, and we're having to run in groups. So we have to stick in our groups. In the last few hundred meters, I might pick up the pace and see how the other guys are doing. But I'll see how I feel in the moment. But at the moment, we do need to stick in our groups from a safety perspective.
Have they got you in high vis and hard hats, or has it not gone that far?
No hard hats, but the MNDA have provided us with some genuinely lovely running tops, which are bright orange, so that's got the high vis covered.
Yeah. But I presume, though, you have had to risk assess this, and it's probably had to go through a whole load of internal all sorts to make sure that it can happen, I guess.
Yeah, it's been anything but just turning up on Friday and running on the path. There's been a lot of work that's gone in to kind of work out how we're going to make this a safe event. And one of the biggest things was heat. We had a heat scale, and if the forecast got to a certain temperature, we were probably going to have to cancel the event. Fortunately, the weather seems to be cooling down for Friday. So we had a meeting yesterday, actually, to review all the weather forecasts, but I think we're good to go.
Yeah. Will there be any live updates on your Instagram?
I'm hoping so. If I've got the signal and I got the battery power, then I will. My Instagram story will hopefully feature how we're getting on.
Yeah, great. So people can follow you on Instagram as well, can't they? We can give them the link.
Yeah, please. And there's lots of stuff there about my dad and the training that I've been doing so far. So, if it's any interest, then please do follow.
Yeah, honestly, the monthly updates have had me and Laura in tears on multiple occasions when, watching you engage with your dad. And just so beautiful. The videos themselves are so wholesome. It's I always kind of imagine it as CBeebies bedtime stories, but for sport. It's so gentle, and you just got such a lovely persona on the camera.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you. It's always horrible hearing your own voice, isn't it? I mean, the first couple of times I did it, I thought, God, I sound so boring. And I tried to put some excitement into my voice, but I'm glad CBeebies bedtime is kind of a good angle. Maybe that'll be my USP.
I think you either have to go 200% crazy, and then it's probably at about 100. I just think it's really nice. I think do you know what it does? Is it captures who you are, which isn't boring, but is deep and caring and personable and loving. And I think it perfectly captures every side of who you are, which is really nice.
Thank you. Can we do this next week as well?
PKS Running Club, official encouragement provider for all runners out there. All right, so let's flip the conversation a little bit. What are the things that are likely to trip you up in your training? And kind of when you talked about losing motivation post the London being cancelled, what are the triggers? What are the things that make getting out and training hard? Because Ironman training is...
Yeah, oh gosh, there's quite a few. I think injury is the first thing that comes to mind. If you get a niggle, if you're feeling tired, it's hard to motivate yourself to do what you need to do to recover from that niggle, like doing the stretching and seeing a physio, getting a sports massage. But I I think because I've had such a strong kind of why for this Ironman block, there haven't been too many occasions that I've really questioned what I'm doing or lack motivation to kind of get out and do it. Injury is definitely one. So anything you can do to prevent that happening and then recovering from it when it happens, that's a big thing. It feels wrong to say it's something that trips you up, but family is obviously something that you have to prioritise, or that I want to prioritise when you've got kind of like a 5-hour cycle on the training block, how to fit that in. So just kind of like life admin, and not wanting to take away from family too much. A big shout out again to my work. I've moved to a 9-day fortnight for this period. And
brilliant.
What it's meant is that every other Friday, I have off, and that's when I do my long rides, because I just couldn't work it out in my head. How am I I'm gonna have to get up at like 4 a.m. and do the 5 or 6 hour ride before like all the kids' activities started on the weekend, or so life admin, that's really tricky, but I think there are ways to get around it, and it's kind of looking at the stuff in your life that is taking up time that isn't adding value. It's trying to cut that out so you can prioritise on what is important.
Yeah. Do you feel you get that balance right, or do you find that hard?
With like the family and
well,
balance?
Yeah, and cutting the stuff out that doesn't add the value.
Yeah, I think it's hard because probably one of the biggest things is just the doom scrolling on social media, like that.
Yeah.
That can just drain so much time, but often I go to it for an escape or because you're tired, and so it's not easy, but it is something to try and be conscious about and make a conscious effort to not kind of waste your time on the things that don't matter.
It kind of occurred to me that we've made the assumption that everybody understands and knows what an Ironman actually is. Just tell us, what actually is an Ironman?
So it's essentially a big triathlon. It's a 2.4 mile swim, and I'm going to be doing it in, I said, Ironman Wales, which is in Tenby. So the 2.4 mile swim is in the North Beach in the ocean. Recently discovered there's quite a lot of jellyfish on the beach in Tenby.
Okay.
So that's going to be fun. So 2.4 mile swim, and then transition straight onto the bike. I've also found out that the transition from the beach to where your bike is going to be is about 1 kilometre. So
okay. Yeah.
So you got the transition to the bike, and then it's a 112 mile bike ride for me around Pembroke, and then transition straight off the bike, and then run a marathon. All of that has to be done within 17 hours. There's other kind of cut-off times for each, kind of for the swim and then for the bike, but essentially, you have to complete it in 17 hours.
I mean, that is extraordinary.
Yeah, it is. It is intense, and I think when I started training, I thought, this isn't something you can just rock up to and just do. You've got to put the work in, you've got to put the training in, and that was why I chose to do it, because I've run a few marathons before. I didn't want to, running a marathon is hard no matter what, but I wanted to do something a bit extra.
Yeah.
To kind of just, raise as much money and just show my dad how much effort I wanted to put into making him proud.
Yeah. And clearly he was so proud.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, that just oozes in those videos. I mean, he was always proud of all of you guys. So I'm sure seeing this would have just increased the pride he already had. But I mean, it's absolutely amazing, mate. Hats off to you. I love endurance sport. I love long distance running. I cannot fathom ever doing an Ironman. I really can't. Maybe that will change, but if the right motivator was there. But I think it's absolutely extraordinary. So
you've got a watt bike now? So
I do.
You just need to get in the pool.
I do. It's the swimming bit. Honestly, the 2.4 mile swim in the ocean with jellyfish doesn't sound like my ideal weekend morning.
I think in Ironman Leeds, so there's two full Ironmans in the UK, Wales and Leeds, and that's in a lake. So,
Oh, okay.
you could maybe be
There's
tempted
options.
for that one. Yeah,
But I mean, who wants to go to Leeds? That's the broader question here.
I wasn't
Who
gonna
wants to go
say
to
that.
Leeds to do an Ironman?
I'm not sure how clean the lake is either.
Probably full of shopping trolleys or something. It's incredible. It really is. Danny, I'm incredibly proud of you. I'm incredibly motivated, inspired by you. I think when I go to a dark place, I'm always thinking about things that people that do more and are able to draw on resilience, and you're certainly an inspiration.
Oh, cheers, mate.
It has been a pleasure to talk to you. Actually, let's just ask one more question. Diet and nutrition.
Yeah.
How do you handle that? Are you just eating a lot of everything at the moment?
Yeah. Eating a lot, but also trying to eat clean as well. So, I read Chris Van Tilliken's Ultra Processed People book a couple of years ago, and it's still kind of stuck with me, just the importance of like whole foods and making sure that kind of the majority of what we eat. So just trying to make sure that like 80%, at least 80% of what I eat is from whole foods. To be honest, I just keep it pretty simple. I don't think about it too much more than that. I just try and eat as clean as possible. For the Ironman itself, the other thing that I've had to train is my kind of nutritional intake, because obviously if you're exercising for up to 17 hours, you're going to need to consume some calories. So gels, carb mix drinks, oat bars, kind of trying to get a mix of solid and liquid carbohydrates in the body to kind of keep me going. And back to my first marathon, the reason why I hit the wall at 23 miles is because for some reason I took a gel every 4 miles, but then stopped at kind of 16.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know. I was a bit younger then. I probably didn't have as much money and thought I'll be a bit tight on on that 1 pound gel. So I made sure the next marathon that I did, I made sure I was getting my nutrition in throughout the race. So it's so important. But from my day to day, I just try and keep it simple. 80%, roughly 80% of what I eat, make it whole foods. And it allows me to enjoy the treats as and when I want to, but not go crazy on them either.
Yeah. Go-to breakfast then?
Porridge.
Yeah.
I got to tell you about my porridge. It's milk and oats, mashed banana, chia seeds, peanut butter, frozen raspberries, frozen blueberries, and like this frozen smoothie mix, fruit, chopped almonds, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, and sunflower seeds. There we go.
How long does that take to make?
It takes about 20 minutes to make, which Amy always gives me grief for being in the kitchen making breakfast for so long.
Yeah, that is mega.
Yeah, it's a great way to start the day with all that, healthy stuff.
Yeah, that's incredible. Go to lunch.
Scrambled eggs and sourdough bread. I'd make my own sourdough as well.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Properly keeping a good track of everything that you're eating there. So then go to treat.
Oh, go to treat. I mean, it's probably a chocolate biscuit is the basic, like, just a go-to, or a bar of chocolate. But being a bit more extravagant than that, my mum's chocolate cheesecake. Oh my gosh. If that was on tap, I'd be in trouble.
That you'd be back to the Tubby Toddler.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, we've gone full circle. So that is going to be the perfect way to end. Folks, thank you so much for listening. Danny, thank you so much for joining me. And please, folks, do go over and support Danny. The description will include the link. It will be up on screen. Follow him on Instagram as well. And don't forget to subscribe and share the word of the PKS Running Club. It's great to have you with us. Danny, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thanks, Paul.
See you all again soon.